Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Ero F2. And as you can see, it is, we are here for, the first sprint in F2. So obviously we've had our first sprint weekend in ERO starting on Friday, I believe. So now it's the time or the turn of the drivers in the F2 division to take a shot at Austria, Spielberg, known for its very fast straights and very easy to get penalties. So that will be one thing to keep an eye on throughout the race and the sprint. As you can see, the format is going to be, we're going to have normal qualifying and then we'll have a 12-lap sprint race, which will set the order for the 36-lap race where, well, really all the big points will be scored. So now looking at the last two races, we've had multiple winner in a Red Bull, so something that isn't too shocking for everybody to see, at least if you're a fan of Formula One. So Bashi has taken the first two victories this season, and with that he's currently got a 27-point buffer between himself and the man in second, that's Pangrio in the Alfa Romeo. Obviously, because of the sprint weekend, that means that that can very easily be overturned if everything does go in Pangrio's way. As you can see, he's there in the Alfa Romeo. As well as that, we've also got Bashi in the lobby, so the current championship leader in the Red Bull, and the returning Prime Vilzu in the Mercedes, currently in third place on 22 points. So only 3 points behind Pangrio, who's on 25, and then Bashi, who's currently on 52 points in the lead of the championship. You've also got Folly in the Alfa Romeo in fourth on 20 points, so only 5 points covering second to third, as I'm sure you'd imagine, after two races. But yeah, this could change a lot in the championship. It is a big opportunity for people that either haven't raced every weekend so far. For example, Jericho Balgos in the Red Bull, we know he was very fast last season, so he, in his first race in Miami, he took third place. So let's see if he can build on that today at Austria. We should be ready to go, as we've got 18 drivers. Am I spectating? Let me just make sure. Yes, I am. As we've got 18 drivers on the track. Let me also check that I'm not muted, because I know last week I was muted for like the first, I don't know, 10 minutes. No, this is Luke, your voice is very low. No, this is PlayStation. This is F2. What have I put that there? Yes, there you go. Sorry, if you can hear me twice, apologies. Yes, sorry. If you don't know who I am, I'm low-key commentating, so I wasn't here last week, but I was here for the first race of the season. Be sure I will do my best to make this a fun and exciting race for you guys to watch. So we'll keep an eye out. As there you go, looks like everybody is now ready to go. I'm not really expecting any weather, to be honest. I guess it might spice things up. It will be a fairly long session, this as well. So also, I don't know, get whatever you do when you're watching stuff, popcorn. I was going to say coffee, but I don't think people drink coffee when they're watching live streams. But nonetheless, get comfortable. It's going to be, hopefully, a really exciting session. As we know from the first two races, the pace is quite close. Really, I'd say out in front, really all the way down the field. So be interesting to see who's going to come out on top. Unfortunately, no Masiek today, as you can see. So maybe an opportunity for somebody else to take a step on the podium. Can anybody beat Bashi, who's dominated the first two races, or will he take both the sprint and the race victory? We're about to find out. Qualifying is going to be underway very, very shortly. Again, not really expecting much weather, but you never know up in the mountains in Austria, Spielberg. So let's wait and see what happens. How can someone say now, Luke, your voice is very low? That's hilarious, man. All right, cool. So qualifying. Let's see what the weather has got in store for us, and it looks lovely and sunny. outside. So just to recap, this is going to be this is going to set the grid for the sprint. It will be a very, very important qualifying session. Obviously, as the sprint is 12 laps, we all know about DRS trains as well. So it's going to be vital for the drivers to get as good a grid position as possible. And then, of course, the sprint will add. There'll be even more importance behind the sprint, just because of the fact that that sets you up for the race. So let's see who's going to be first out on the track as we watch the Haas pit lane, and there's a Williams coming out. Who is that Williams? It may be Wagener. Yes, it is Wagener. So let's get rid of that from the screen. And oh, that's an interesting helmet. Never seen, to be honest, I don't really play this game, so I was going to say I've never seen that helmet before. Looks quite decent. Okay, anyways, yeah, so nice helmet there for Wagener. Let's see where he can put his Williams. We were doing some practice earlier. He had some decent pace. I think he was using a lot of his DRS though, so hopefully he can maybe save a little bit more, as that is also quite important around this track, just due to that high speed nature of it. You don't want to find yourself derating down the back straight, or you will most likely be a sitting duck to those behind you. So we'll stay on board with Wagener. He's coming through the final sector, about to start his lap, and we will run on board. Coming through the final corner, there's a McLaren on the way out the pits. They shouldn't influence Wagener, at least at this point anyways, as he comes up to turn 1. He does use a little bit of the curb on the entry. Keeps the rear nice and stable. You just really don't want to get on the yellow curb. If you put your left wheel on the yellow curb, you might find yourself either facing the wrong direction or in the barrier. Braking, you could brake just after 100 meters. It's a very tricky braking zone to judge. Very easily overshoot and go deep, which will compromise your exit down the second important straight, as there's a McLaren in front who nicely does get out of the way. And Wagener not using any curb on the outside of the corner, getting a little bit of understeer mid-corner as well, but looks like a fairly smooth lap, maybe just trying to get a time on the board. The middle sector though is where a lot of time can very easily be lost, or you can invalidate your lap on this curb on the right hand side. Wagener as well in the confines of the circuit, so he is most likely going to finish the lap. But the thing about Austria is it's never over, really, till it's over. As you see there, he invalidates, because these last two corners are an absolute pain. It will be very, very easy to be on the best lap you've probably been on in your life, and on the last corner it all goes out the window. We've got a few cars in Aston Martin coming across the line now. Pachuca 105.2. That will be followed by Ferret. Let's see what Ferret can do in the Haas. Is he going to go quicker? No, he was pretty fairly slow lap. Libanau also about to come across the line in his Ferrari. He goes P2 on a 105.4. Red Bull of Bashi, Jacob Balgo starting his lap, and then we've got two Mercedes in the background. Wilson's about to, he's just started his lap also. Astros has gone P2 on a 105.4. We've got another Williams, that's Yome, I believe. Is that Williams? Yeah, Yome coming across the line to also do a 105.4. Pangrio, currently the fastest man on track on a 105.1. Looks like Libanau's gone deep after turn 3. And who's that? We've got a McLaren coming around the final corner. He's going to invalidate. So unfortunately, it's not going to be a time frame. It would have been good enough for first position, but as the invalidations go, that's unfortunately one thing. You've got the championship leader Bashi about to set his first lap of the session as Ferret goes quickest on a 105.4. That's a very good lap from Ferret de Souza in the Haas, and Bashi goes P2 on a 104.7. You've got cars coming across the line. Jacob Balgos going P2 in his Red Bull, so currently a Red Bull 2-3. Still a very long way to go in this session though, as there's also a Mercedes. I believe that will be Vilsbu coming across. No, it's not. Astros coming into the pits, but Vilsbu on a lap, so we'll stay on board with Vilsbu and see what he can do. He currently has not got a lap time on the board, so you take he most likely has invalidated. Let's see what he can do. He's getting out of the way. for the AlphaTauri. So early on in the session, not looking particularly good for Gilsey at the moment, but still over 10 minutes left in the session. Very long way to go. Still enough time to influence his qualifying session. We're currently riding on board with Zarova Hahifi. Hope I said that correctly, I think I did. Coming through the tricky final section, and you may have lost a little bit of time in the first part of that, and then understeering in the middle of the corner. Not going to be a particularly quick lap. Where is it going to put him? Yeah, he stays. It doesn't go anywhere. It goes up to P10. T-Bran currently going slow at the moment. Libanal coming through the final corner, about to set another lap. Is it going to be quicker though? Yes, he's improved by just under or just over a tenth and a half. Puts himself into P6. And we've also got Patuka out in lap, and Gilsey going again. He must have been on these tyres for quite a few laps. He's getting a lovely slipstream from the Ferrari up ahead. That would have given him a little bit of time in the first set. As you can see, he's improved by 9 tenths. 16.2 is okay. Probably want to find a couple more tenths on that if you want to be challenging the guys at the top, but nonetheless still a long way to go in the lap. Well, not really a long way, it's the shortest lap of the track, but still a lot of corners where he can find time, especially in this tricky middle section. With the cars running fairly low downforce, it does mean that you can make the difference around here just through spotting your braking and being very tentative on the power, because very easy to spin up the rear tyres. This is an Aston Martin going off the track on the right hand side there. Will be improving by I believe that was just under 5 seconds. Obviously his current lap is in 11.5, but he looks like he's going to come into the pits now. Yes, he does. So he aborts his lap. So we'll follow Patuka as he looks like the furthest man around that is on a lap. Actually, let's see that. It might not be true. Waves now is on a lap, but it looks like he's gone a bit deep into turn 1. So we'll actually we'll follow Patuka around, see what he can do. He's currently running in P5 at the moment on a 105.2, coming down the first straight and heading into turn 3. Heavy on the brakes. Looks like he's gone purple. I don't think the timing just synced it, but we'll see anyways. Now in the middle sector, 2 cars up ahead, so hopefully they know he's on the lap. He's gone well deep. He would have lost some time there on the entrance. Let's see if he can influence the middle sector any further, using the curb on the right hand side, pulling the car over to the apex, getting a fairly decent run. Actually, you can see he's improved by just under 3 tenths of a second. He would have lost a little bit of time there on the exit, but still should be there or thereabouts, 2.5 tenths as an improvement. He had to turn out of that a little bit, but still looking fairly decent. And there you go, there's the invalidation. So it really can change fairly quickly on your lap. It can all be looking good as though somebody facing the other direction. It's an Aston Martin. But we'll follow Ferret, who was starting his lap but has chosen to back off. So let's see who else on the lap. Yomi is also slowing down. Looks like Wagenar is on a lap at the moment though, so we'll follow the Williams driver, who's still yet to put a representative lap time on the board. Where can he put himself? Can he throw himself in the mix? Currently from P1 down to P8 is 9 tenths of a second, so he should be able to put himself somewhere within the top 9 if he does get a clean lap, and it does look fairly good. That looks really nice in terms of the turning. Very good mid-corner grip is improved by just over 6 seconds, and that looks really good as well. As the McLaren goes P3 on a 104.7, so the lap times are coming down, and Waves now looks like he's sending it at the moment. Can he keep it in bounds though in the last corner? Yes, he does. Nicely done. Is it going to be anywhere in the top 5 for Waves now? He goes P8 on a 105.2, so he may be able to find more time. Ferret is starting a lap, so we'll look to see if anybody can challenge him. Where's Pangrio? He's gone deep. He would have lost time, so we'll follow Ferret on board at the moment. Who's going to win today? I guess, yeah, most people think Bash is going to win, and that looks really sweet for Ferret. Hit his braking zone nicely. So I was looking at the comments, or well, the poll rather. Yeah, so Ferret looking good at the moment. Can he put his car or can he extend his advantage out in front? 8 minutes left in the session, so still everybody will get to go at least once. Oh, you can see he lost the rear a little bit. He's up by 8 thousandths of a second, but that may be dropping as he gets closer to the start-finish line. So he almost lost the rear, and he's gonna get this out of bounds, and it doesn't invalidate, but that will definitely invalidate. No, it doesn't actually. Ferret's gonna get away with it, and is he gonna improve? No, he doesn't. So even though he managed to extend the last 3 corners, he failed to improve. Bashi has invalidated as well, unfortunately, and he was improving. He slowed down before the line, so that could have been provisional pole. Libenau goes up into P5. Yes, Libenau goes up into P5, I believe. Vilzu then displaces him with a 104.9. So about 5 cars now in the 1 minute 4 seconds range. Who's going to be next? Pangrio looks like he's going again on his lap. Yes, he is. Can he get himself into the top 5? 7 minutes to go left in this qualifying session. Remember, this is going to set the grid for the sprint race and not the actual race, but it most certainly will be important as Pangrio is improving by just under 0.3 of a second. So he's trying to get himself on the front row at the moment. Again, there is still 6 minutes to go, so still a very, very long way in this session. It is very all but not, well, I don't know what I was going to say. Basically, there's still a long way to go, and Pangrio invalidates. It would have been a 4.9 that would have put him in P5, but unfortunately he's going to stay in P7. Astros in the Mercedes has matched his first sector. Can he do anything to influence this middle sector? Oh, and he spun it. Wow, that looked fairly violent. I looked away for a second. Ferret retires in the pits, so he's choosing not to go again. Maybe he's trying to save 1 set of soft tires. You'd imagine he is going to do the sprint on a set of soft tires. Otherwise, you question why he has retired. You've got Verova Pahifi. I don't know how I said that correctly the first time, but he is coming through the final sector on his lap. Can he find his way into the top 10? Looks like he is improving steadily. It's going to be a 1 minute 6.3, and he stays P14, so he doesn't really have the pace at the moment. We've got Eat My Dust in the Alpine coming through the final corner. Can he get himself up into the top 10? It looks like he's not going to do that. He goes P15 at the moment. And then there's Pangrio and Patuka out on the track. Patuka coming through the penultimate corner now, and he's going to finish his lap. Where's he going to? He's understeered massively. He would have lost time there, but where's he going to put him? Is he going to improve? Yes, he does, and he goes up into P7. Okay, whilst everyone's in the pitch, just give me 2 seconds. Oh no, well, B's on the lap actually, so we'll follow the McLaren, who's going for pole position. It seems he needs to find 0.2 of a second, or maybe about 0.3. He's improved by over half a tenth. That looked very silky there through the hairpin. Bombing down the second straight now. Gonna have to spot his braking point, and he does very nicely. He uses the curb on the left. Gets really good rotation in the middle of the corner. That's gonna gain him a very decent amount of time. Can he maintain it now through the tricky middle sector? You're gonna have to hang on to the rear as it's gonna try to step out, and there you go, it's up by 0.2 of a second. So this could be a lap for pole position. He's got 2 more corners to negotiate, and they are very, very difficult. It could all come falling down now, and he's gonna send it, and he keeps it in check, but you saw he got oversteered in the middle of the corner. Had to correct it, and there you go. So unfortunately, it could have been provisional pole. Unfortunately, he'll have to stay P3. Most likely, he wouldn't get another lap. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, let's see who's on the track. Okay, so we've got Jericho Balgos on a lap at the moment. The Red Bull is currently less than 0.2 off provisional pole. Ferret has retired. Oh, it's raining. it's raining, so no wonder Ferret has retired. The rain is coming down. We didn't expect this. So raindrops on the track, and it looks like it will prevent anybody from improving. Let's see what Jericho can do in this middle sector. He's got a car up ahead. He's up by a tenth, so the track is still dry though. Can he find a little bit more time in this final sector to put his car on provisional pole? There's 2 minutes left in the session. Bashi's teammate goes into P3, doesn't improve any further than that. So Jericho Balgos all on him. Can he take pole position for the Red Bulls? He's about to come across the line, and he doesn't improve. He lost time in the final sector, so the track is not improving. Livernow down by 6/600ths of a second at the moment, and now he's down by 6/10. So yeah, the track is wet. Pangrio will most likely box unless he thinks he can find some time. He's gonna have to send it through the final corner. That looked fairly stable. Can he find time? Currently 105.1. He comes across the line and he goes up into P5. So Pangrio does manage to improve. He puts his Alfa Romeo into P5. Vilzu's down by 7/10ths of a second. Currently in P6. It looks like he'll start no higher than P6 as the rain is coming down. Vero is on an outlap, so he most certainly won't improve. Bashi's invalidated. Jericho Balgos has got no ERS, so that looks to be the end of qualifying. Yep, that is the end of qualifying. So Ferret is on pole position as the rain has come down at the right time for him. He chose to retire before the end of the session, and there you go, a DRS disabled. So yeah, the track is wet. So good job from Ferret getting the lap done early. He's put himself in the best position for the sprint race. So let's see what he can do. Game volume down by 1 needed. Okay. I hope that is better for you all. But yeah, you can see everybody's retiring now. The session will, well, obviously it will continue, but nobody will improve. So everybody will be in the pits. So this is your order then for the sprint race. It's going to be Ferret on pole position in the Haas. And then you've got both Red Bulls 2 and 3 separated by about 400ths of a second. So basically nothing between the Red Bull drivers. We'll see how that plays out come race time. Bu getting P4 in the McLaren. Pangrio with a late lap managing to improve even in the conditions, puts himself into P5. And you've got Vilzu only 100th of a second behind. You have Livernow very close behind, also on a 1050 starting P7. Then Patuca, Wagner and Astros will round out the top 10. And there you have it. I want to have a look at the actual sector times. Yeah, and also for you guys. So on Ferret's best lap, he did a pretty good final sector, 19.6. Even though his first sector wasn't amazing. And you can see that Jericho potentially could have been a bit closer. He did a 16.2 first sector. That's also not very stunning. Or maybe they're just running higher downforce. Is there rain on the way? Maybe there's something I don't know, because generally first sector time is a little bit faster. Looking at maybe 16 flats for the first sector. But we'll see what happens as we're about to enter unknown territory, some would say. It's going to be the first sprint in Ero F2. So it'll be interesting to see how aggressive the drivers choose to take it. Will they be thinking more about the long, obviously 36 lap race that we're going to have, or are they going to be really scrapping for position, as it doesn't look particularly light in the pit lane. So I wonder if there is rain on the way. Let me see if anybody said anything, because I didn't ask, but let's see if there's any rain on the way. Eh? Or apparently there's a probability of rain in the middle of the race. Don't know if that's a sprint race or the real race, but either way, we're about to find out, as I don't think we're doing formation lap. So it might, yeah, there's no formation lap. I know there is formation lap. Okay. Okay, let's see. So everybody choosing to go for the medium tires. Okay, wait, hold on a sec. Yeah, everybody choosing to go for the medium tires, which is not going to be a surprise to anybody. 12 laps on the softs. Your softs will most likely fall off fairly quickly. Obviously, you got Ferret and then both Red Bulls behind. This is giving me actually Austrian real life vibes. You had Verstappen on pole, and then it was both Ferraris behind. So are the Red Bulls going to work together to try and get past Ferret? Remember, this is going to set the grid for the race. So I'm not sure what the point system is, if it's the same as in real life. So the top three, I think it's an extra 3 points, something like that. I don't know. But also, it'll be interesting to see if anybody can take some big strides up the field in this start. And are people going to get their elbows out? When we had a sprint in F1 around Silverstone, obviously because of crossplay glitches, well, yeah, it got quite aggressive. So be interesting to see if the drivers in F2 will be thinking the same way, or if they're going to be thinking about the long run. I'll tell you about, what I can tell you is tomorrow in the sprint, I'm going to be going all guns blazing. So if anybody else in F1 is watching, if you see me have a look up the inside, just brake a couple meters later, you might miss your braking point, but that's probably what I was doing it for. Now you don't know what I'm going to do, because maybe I'm just playing mind games and talking rubbish, but you know what, we'll find out. Anywho, drivers coming to the grid, making sure the tires are warm, and you've got Jericho pointed directly to the left, and his teammate actually pointed a little bit to the right. So this could be a fairly spicy start. The Haas driver is going to have to be watching very, very intently in his mirrors. There's been somebody disqualified from this session, so he might have overshot his pit box. That will be unfortunate for him off the start, as he's definitely going to lose time. So who's going to set the benchmark here in the sprint? You've got 5 red lights, and it's lights out and away we go, and it looks like Ferret's got a good enough start, but Bashi's got an amazing start. There's an Alfa Romeo spinning behind. Bashi's going to get a good run onto the back straight, and he may, oh wow, and I think Ferret's gotten out of shape. There's yellow flags being waved. There's quite a lot of carnage going on a little bit further down the field. What's happening? You can see there's an Aston Martin. It looks like he's off the track. You've got some good battles going on at the front as well. Apologies for the switching. Bashi has got past Ferret, as well as Pangrio getting past Abu. You've got Prime Vilzu on the back of the McLaren as well. There's somebody that's been given a 5-second time penalty, ignoring yellow flags, and you've got some battling going on in the background as well. They're not giving you good cameras to watch this. And oh, there's big carnage. There's a McLaren that's made contact there. There's a lot going on at the moment. Vilzu must have damage, it seems. He's slowing down. He's letting cars go out in front. You've got the Ferrari of Livena, who's also lost positions. Astros has had an amazing start. Will get the position change. He's gained 4 places, as Patuka's also gained 3 positions as well. Not easy to keep up with what is going on in the track. It looks like Vilzu's got some type of damage, and he's coming into the pits. So it's a horrible sprint so far for Vilzu. That will probably be the end of his sprint race. It's only going to be 10 more laps after this. You've got Bashi, who took the lead. Ferret must have got a little bit out of shape into turn 1. Bashi now streaking away, 0.8 of a second gap, and you've got Patuka and having a fight with Astros and Bu, who's looking to go up the inside. Who thought better of it, and the Mercedes is going to go up the inside of the Aston Martin though, and Patuka keeps the position. Bu potentially coming under pressure. You got the Mercedes derating already, so really using his ERS aggressively, and you had the Alpine going in very deep there, almost made contact with the Ferrari driver. Managed to keep his nose clean. So we've got quite a few cars fighting here. This is a battle for P5. The top 4 currently all within DRS of each other. So when we do get DRS on the next lap, it will be interesting to see if Ferret can come back at Bashi. But at the moment, we've got a very, very big cluster of cars fighting for position in the midfield at the moment. And as Bashi does the fastest lap of the race, 9 tenths of a second gap, and you got the Mercedes of Astros getting out of shape in the last corner, but getting a decent run. His light is flashing. I don't know how he's got 5% ERS already. I don't even know how that's possible in 3 laps. But he sent it. But he might come under pressure now as the McLaren has got a lot more ERS. He's going to move to the outside and take the position. And he goes a little bit defensive as well. Libanal having a sniff up the inside also. The Mercedes getting squeezed off, and the Alpine also in the background. The Mercedes has spun round. You've got 3 cars. Libanal's made his way through now up into P6. The Alpine's going to go wheel to wheel with the McLaren going down into turn 4. Is he going to be deep on the brakes? Yes, he is. And he's going to get the position. And the McLaren's going to get a good run of traction out of the corner, and he maintains P7. Unfortunately for both Mercedes, it's been a terrible, terrible start to the sprint race. They're currently running P15 and P18 at the moment. It started off very much promising for both of them, but they're going to start quite a way down in the race. But at the moment, it's looking quite entertaining again in the midfield. If Codemasters would give us a good camera angle, we could watch, and we've got something decent here. Somebody goes off the track. There's yellow flags being waved, and it's the McLaren of View who spun out. So he spun out in the last corner, and it seems like a lot of drivers making mistakes. As the Alpine of Yome sends up the inside, the Aston Martin will get on the curb and will lose time, which may give Eat My Dust a good run down up into turn 3. They're going to go up the hill, and will there be any contact? We're going to watch it on board. The Hassan, oh, it's carnage. What's going on? The Williams only spun as well. It's the AlphaTauri rather, sorry. There's a lot going on at the moment. These cars really are looking to send it for the position in the race, and for a lot of drivers it has not come off well. We've got the Alpine and the Williams fighting up ahead, almost making contact there, but the Williams got the inside line, so he should maintain that position. This is the closest battle currently going on the track at the moment. The top 2 now separate by 1.8 seconds, so Bashi stretching his legs, the championship leader flexing, really showing his speed at the moment. Out in front, you've got Libanal that's looking close to Patuka, so we're going to follow that on board in a moment. They're coming down the start-finish straight. As you can see here, Patuka, wow, they've all got less than 10% ERS. They've been absolutely spamming the ERS, and you saw Patuka going a little bit deep into the corner. He's definitely going to lose this position. We'll watch it on board Vespa and the AlphaTauri. Maybe he may sniff an opportunity as well, as they're going to go wheel to wheel down into turn 3. Patuka looks like he's not going to fight it too hard, as he's also got front wing damage. Patuka's missing the front wing end plate there, so he's going to be losing time. He's also not going to get DRS on this back straight to come back at Libanal. I'm sure he's not going to send it up the inside. No, he's not. He's just going to follow him around the track at the moment. With the AlphaTauri getting so close to Patuka there on the brakes. You've got Yomir and Eat My Dust switching positions, P9 and P10. Vilzu, who's coming to the pits, has now set the fastest lap of the race. And it's been a fairly entertaining sprint race here in F2. To be honest, I don't think it's much of a surprise to most people. Why formation lap? I don't know why formation lap. And here you go. So Nezdek and Eat My Dust swapping places. There's a few battles going on the track. It's difficult. I guess you guys tell me what do you want to see. You've got a battle for P6 at the moment. Patuka getting out of shape. He's going to get passed by Vespa, who sends it up the inside. He does a little switcheroo. Is he going to be deep on the brakes? It looks like Patuka might go wide. It was very well controlled there by Patuka. His teammate Mike in the background. We've got another battle currently for P9 behind Yomir. It's Yomir, Nezdek, T-Brand and Astros in the Mercedes, who obviously spun out. He's trying to recover at the moment. And it's raining. The rain is coming down. It is raining. So is the track going to get wet? Are the drivers going to have to come in for intermediate tires? We've got a spinner. It's Verova in the Alfa Romeo, currently running in P16. But you can see the raindrops there on your screen at the moment. It's not going to affect the drivers right now, but there's 5 laps left of this sprint. So I wonder if they will have to come into the pits and we can switch to the front, as we've got Jericho Balgos now closing down on Ferret, and he's going to make the move up the inside. It should be a fairly easy move for him. We'll watch it from Pangrio, and they make a little bit of contact. This could compromise Ferret, as Pangrio is also going to have DRS, but no, Ferret's got DRS. T-Brand has retired. He spun out, and it looks like there's been a collision, and there's a safety car, a virtual safety car. don't know yet. That must be a safety car. It's a safety car. So what are the drivers going to do then? Because the rain is coming down. If that's a safety car, do you pit in anticipation that the track is going to get wet for intermediates? Bashi is coming into the pits. What are the other drivers going to do? Is his teammate going to follow suit? It looks like he is. Yes, it's a full course safety car. Ferret is going to come into the box also. Nobody looks like they're going to stay up. But what tyres are they going to choose? We're going to follow Bashi on board. Is he going to go for the intermediates or is he going to go for the softs, the inters? So he's anticipating this rain will get harder. He's going to pit for inters. I wonder what everybody else is going to do. Are they going to follow suit or are they going to put on a set of soft tyres to the end? It looks like intermediates are being readied for the Haas, as well as Jericho put on the inters as well. Pangriel are going for inters. So it looks like they're all going to switch to the intermediate tyres. So we're probably going to know. Actually, you can see a set of soft tyres there for the Alpine. And a wing change for Patuka, so good opportunity for him. Mike decides to stay out, and this could be a smart move. Depends on how long this safety car is out for, and whether or not the rain comes down. Vespa choosing to go for the softs. We've got a massive mixture of strategies at the moment, but it looks like the majority of people that have pit for the intermediate tyres. So be keen to see how this plays out. This is going to massively impact the grid order. At the moment, Bashi's now got a car between himself and Ferret, but they're all on intermediate tyres. The guys that were leading out in front. Astros and Kefi have decided to stay on the dry tyres. You've got Vespa on the softs. We have to keep an eye out for him. If the track doesn't get wet, he'll be in a prime position to take some very, very good positions for the start of the race. Vilzu's coming to the pits as well, so we'll most likely have at least one more lap under the safety car. It looks like we'd probably be resuming on lap 10. So, what do you guys think is going to happen? Do you think it will be the guys on the inters? Did they make the right decision? Or the guys that switched to the dries or stayed on the dries? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Also, be sure to leave a like. This is only part one of what looks like it's going to be a fairly entertaining race. But yeah, what do you guys think? Do you guys think it would have been best to pit for inters or softs, as Ferret has lagged out the session? He needs to rejoin ASAP. I'm not sure if somebody can invite him. Maybe I'll have to do that. Sorry, give me a sec. I need to invite Ferret in case he can't rejoin. Okay, there we go. Yeah, let's hope we can get Ferret back in, because Vilzu is about to come around the first corner, so potentially we will get under. I think we have to get underway actually. This should be the final lap, but the track is not wet enough for intermediates. Don't be shy, guys. Let me know what you think, unless you don't have an opinion that is. But yeah, don't be shy. Please feel free to talk in the comments as I am looking. But the safety car should be in on this lap, as I believe we need 2 racing laps at least. But the track does not look like it's wet enough yet. We're getting a few spots of rain on the camera now, so this may change very quickly at the moment. But is the safety car coming in on this lap though? I guess that's the biggest question. I've not received the notification that it is, but yeah, I think it is coming in this lap, surely. No, it's not. Okay, so we'll literally have 2 racing laps. It'll be lap 11 and lap 12, and then on that bombshell, it most likely means that the guys on the inters are in a good position, but DRS is still active. We've not received a DRS disabled notification, which means that the track is still in a fairly decent condition for those on the dry tyres. So what does that mean for Mike? We'll have a look at the detail in terms of position changes. Mike has gained 14 places, so if he was to do something and potentially start on pole position in the race, that would be a mega result for himself. Have we got Ferret back? Yes, we do. Ferret has rejoined. The rain looks like it's coming down a little bit harder, but we are only going to have 2 laps under these conditions, so it'll be interesting to see. Let's have a look at tyre temperatures. It looks like those intermediates are really struggling for temperature at the front, as Mike has got decent tyre temperatures on the rears. So It looks like those that are on the inters might be in trouble. Safety car in this lap. So what is Bashi gonna do? He's led this sprint, well, I think basically for every lap. He's been quite dominant. He managed to pull out the gap when he needed to, but we're gonna follow Mike on board and see when Bashi chooses to go. The safety car is not very far down the road as of yet, so he'll have to back up the pack a little bit more. And when is he gonna choose to go? Given the conditions, you'd anticipate he might do it as late as possible. We're going to stay with the top two just to see what, and he's gone. So Bashi he's let it go, but what is his pace going to be like? We're going to watch all of those currently on intermediates as well as the dry tires. So we'll keep an eye on Astros in P6, and it looks like it's still, or it might be somewhere right in the middle. Oh wow, we've got a lot going on behind. Astros getting past Pangrio. You've got Vespa, remember, on the softs in P8, and Libernal dropping, or no, Libernal getting past Vespa at the moment. So it looks like it's quite close in terms of the compounds. Jericho and Ferry also switching places. They're battling for the top four, and Astros almost getting out of shape. The two guys on intermediates currently running P3 and P4. You can see they're battling. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here. The Red Bull having a little look up the inside, but thinking better of the move. It seems as the intermediate tyres are the better tyres to be on at this point, as Bashi's currently managing to pull away out in front. But then again, on the other hand, Ferret is 1.9 seconds behind Mike, so maybe Bashi just got his tyres up to good temperature. You've got Vespa who's made his way back past Libba. Now the rain is still coming down at the moment, as you've got yellow flags being waved. There's an Alfa Romeo that's spun out in the middle sector. Vespa still on the softs. We'll watch how he goes in this final couple of corners. Is he going to be gaining much time? You've still got those guys on intermediates in P3 and P4, and Mike is actually closing the gap on Bashi. So I wonder if the track is going back to dry. It's the last lap here in the sprint. You can see up ahead, you've got Jericho Balgos stuck to the rear of Ferry, and we're going to watch it on board Vespa. You can see up ahead what's happening is somebody going to choose to send it, as Jericho and Astros almost made contact. Well, I think they did make contact there. A lot to follow, but Jericho has managed to make his way through. Mike not managing to make an impression on the cars up ahead. There's yellow flags being waved, but we're going to stay on board with the Alfa Romeo as he goes past. Oh, and the Mercedes has to avoid going straight into the back of Jericho Balgos. He's gone off the track and he's gone, oh, and he's lost it. He potentially would have lost the place. He's going to lose more than one now. He's dropping down the order like a fly. Unfortunately for him, it would have been a top 6 start. He's now currently running in P14, and those are the risks you take with a sprint. Realistically, it could have been a decent starting place, but now he's not going to start any higher than P14, it looks like at this point. And Ferry also managing to make his way past Jericho Balgos. He's going to start in the top 3 unless he spins out or makes a mistake at this point. Looked like Vespa still had some really decent pace, but Bashi came across the line and he takes the victory in the sprint race, and he will take pole position. Mike is going to line up on the front row alongside him, Ferret, and then Jericho Balgos in P3 and P4 on the second row of the grid. It was a good sprint for Pangrio as well as Vespa. We'll have a look at the position changes. Vespa managing to gain 7 positions. Libernal maintaining his P7, so he'll start where he qualified in the actual qualifying in the race. Vilzu, unfortunately, was decent recovery after his early contact. He's going to start in P9, but it was a dominant performance from Bashi. He's looking to take his 3rd victory in a row in ERO, and there's now the 36 lap race coming up. This is why I need to commentate with someone. This is going to be a very long one. Nonetheless, you got the points there. I'm not sure if that's how it's actually going to be applied or not. All these poor farming people go on losing their jobs. And there's not going to be a formation lap, or there is. Okay, I'm surprised formation lap is on, but anyways. So I guess there's quite a few cars out of position. It's going to be a long race. And also, Ferric, Jericho and Bashi choosing to start on the hard tyres, as well as Patuka, who's going to be in the middle of a bunch of medium tyre runners. So also be interesting to see how that plays out for him. So the championship leader will start on pole position. I should check my battery on my pad. Yep. The championship leader will start on pole position. And it will have Mike in between himself and his nearest challengers at this time. Pangrio on the mediums in P5. We'll see if he can make an impression. But it looks like Bashi at the moment is miles ahead of the rest. So let's see how things transpire. Cars lining up on the grids. Oh, and the front two. Oh, the top two have missed their pit box. So this could mean significantly at the start of this race that Ferry and Jericho could get a really good run going into turn one. This could be absolute carnage. Are they going to give us a better camera angle? No, they're not. So watch it like this. Is 5 red lights. The front two missing their pit box, and there you go. Jericho Balgos looks like he's got a decent start, but actually Mike is going to cover off Ferret, it looks, on the outside, and it looks all smooth sailing through turn one. Ferret has actually had to go off the track, and he's going to lose positions. He's losing a position to Jericho Balgos, and it looks like Pangrio somewhere in that first corner has managed to make his way up into P3. Oh, almost making contact. Libanon's made contact with Ferret. And there's wings all flying in the background, cars going wide. Looks like there's been contact somewhere. Cars scattered across the field, but we'll have to zoom down up into P8 as we got Vespa currently fighting Libanal alongside Vilzu, who's managed to pick up positions on the start. He's putting very under pressure. It looks like very really struggling on those hard tyres. He didn't manage to get any temperature into them on the outlap. And Aston Martin having a little look up the inside of the AlphaTauri. Really good driving for them to avoid making contact. But you got Mike looking like he's... Oh, I thought it was side by side. I don't know why it's doing that. Apologies. And you've got somebody making a move up the inside. Oh, almost making contact. The Williams coming into the pits. It's Yomir who's got damage. And there's a spinner in the middle sector. Is somebody out? No, it's Wagner. Apologies for all the switching. It's even very difficult for me to follow myself. Just trying to gather my bearings as Eat My Dust has retired. It looks like in the pits. I'm not sure why. As there's a battle going on a little bit further down the field between the Mercedes and a Haas banging wheels. And that looks done, but what isn't done is Vilzu looking to send it on the medium tyres up the inside as Wagner also retires in the pits, it seems. I don't know why people are retiring on lap 2, but I don't really see the point in racing if you're going to retire on lap 2 unless you've got rear wing damage. If you've got rear wing damage on lap 1, then there's probably an issue. But anyways, Vilzu on the charge right now on those medium tyres. Can he close in? Ferret spun. Ferret's lost it. So it's been a terrible start to the race for Ferret, who had a decent sprint race, was in a fairly good position. Is he going to come into the pits to retire? It doesn't look like he's got wing damage. DRS is enabled. You've still got Mike actually keeping Bashi very honest at the moment. He's also got DRS enabled. Is he going to try and make a move for the lead? It will most certainly spice things up if he does. Having a little look up the inside just to keep Bashi honest at the moment under braking. Currently this is the closest battle on the track, and it is the drivers in the top 3. Obviously Bashi is on those hard tyres. Very difficult to warm up, but they're not very fast, to be honest with you. And this is actually giving me very good insight for tomorrow's race in F1. But we'll keep an eye out on this battle. It looks like Mike is driving very well, actually. Credit to him after having an amazing sprint race and getting himself up into P2. He's currently only 4 tenths behind Bashi at the moment. So I wonder if he's going to think to make a move at some point on those medium tyres. If he wants to make use of them, he's going to have to do something, and that could be done right now. Is Bashi willing to use his DRS to defend? It looks like he is. He does go to the inside to defend. He's going to cover him off. And then who's going to take DRS going into the next straight? And Bashi's going to steal the DRS as well. So that may actually put Mike under pressure from Pangrio, and it looks like it will. He's going to switch to the outside. And they're going to go wheel to wheel, go heading down to turn 4. Is he looking for the switchback? It looks like he is. And is he going to get it? Going to get a good exit. There was contact somewhere at the back between Nezdek and I'm not sure who. But Mike defending his position very well from Pangrio. So giving Bashi a little bit of breathing space as well, this battle at the moment. You've got Jericho Balgos in the background, only 9 tenths of a second behind. So this is also keeping him in play. Vilzu's not managed to make an impression on Jericho. The gap's opened up to 2.1 seconds. It was at 1.7 seconds the previous lap. But all cars here will have DRS. Suzuki gets a 3-second time penalty. It's very easy to do around here. But Mike looks ever closer to Bashi, and he's really looking to make an impression. Bashi using his ERS to defend as well. So it looks like they're going all guns blazing out in front. They're not trying to save anything whatsoever. But Bashi will need to be careful, because if he uses too much of his ERS, he could become a sitting duck when those hard tyres do become better than the mediums, and that will probably be in about 5 to 7 laps, I'd say. They've been now getting past Patuka. So there's a good battle going on in the middle of the pack for P7, as Libernal looked like he got past Patuka, but Patuka may have lost a couple of places there. He's sticking to the back of the Ferrari, and on the spinner it's Verova again, unfortunately running down in P14, and it looks like Libernal's going to come into the pits. I wonder why. Maybe he's got damage. Libernal coming into the box. And there's everybody's out of ERS as well. Back to the front. Still got the top 4 all within DRS of one another. Jericho Balgos and Bashi on the hard tyres, so they'll be in a really good position potentially coming to the middle of this race. As you've also got B and P7 looking like he's got fairly good pace in that McLaren. Vespa without the DRS is most likely going to be a sitting duck at some point over the next lap. Pangrio now a lot closer to Mike than Mike is to Bashi. As you can see, he's D-rating now. He's used up a lot of that ERS and didn't manage to get past. And on the other hand, you've got Pangrio, who's got 76% ERS at this point in time. So looking promising for the Alfa Romeo driver if he can keep it on the track. So nothing will change there, but we've got the McLaren going up the inside as Vespa tried to defend, but he'll be defenseless to the McLaren with the DRS, and he'll also get a second dosage of the DRS to also pull away down the straight. There's yellow flags being waved. I believe it's Capai. Yep, the AlphaTauri spun out there, as you can see. And you've got Pangrio and Mike switching positions. It looks like Mike may have made an error somewhere there in the middle sector, and Pangrio's managed to get past. So now Bashi will be wanting to use up as much as DRS to break that DRS, but at the same time Pangrio looks like he's a bit quicker than Mike, so if he can get within that 1 second, which he's not going to do at the moment, then he may well be able to put some pressure on the current championship leader in the Red Bull excuse me, currently out in front at the moment. Or will it be Mike putting more pressure on Pangrio? The gap 1.4 seconds out in front, so he's well off the DRS. Is he going to send it? I hope not. Yeah, obviously thinks better of it. Just having a little look up the inside. Gaps are opening up down the field, so this is currently the biggest battle at the moment. You look like Bashi's got out of shape actually. Bashi's made a mistake up at turn 3 and now finds himself, he will definitely find himself under pressure from Pangrio, who's got a fairly sizable amount of DRS left, as Bashi used his to break the DRS. So he may come under pressure if Pangrio can keep his Alfa Romeo within 1 second coming up to turn 2 and turn 3. It looks like Bashi's got a lot of confidence at the moment, driving very well, managing to open up that gap now back out to 0.6 of a second, but it's not going to be enough. Pangrio's going to get the DRS and start to close that gap back down. Is he going to use his ERS at all on the first straight here? Can he get a good exit as well? He does get a very nice exit. Bashi actually getting onto the curb. You can see he lost a little bit of time there. Is he going to come under pressure from the Alfa Romeo? Is he going to think to send it up the inside going into turn 3? Is he going to send it? He had a little think about it, thought better of it. Can he get a good enough exit to put Bashi under pressure in turn 3? Looks like that will not be the case unless he's going to use his ERS, which at the moment he probably he's thinking better of doing. So he's just going to yellow flags in turn 1. There's a Haas that's spun. I believe that's Nestek, sorry. And he's resumed behind Ferret, who's now running in P14, unfortunately for him. Still got 16 runners at the moment. With Pangrio following Bashi, we're a quarter of the way through the race, about to hit lap 10 now. And Pangrio looking ever closer as there's been a retirement. Is that going to be a safety car? It's a safety car. There is a safety car, and what that means is that those on the hard tires are in big trouble. They are in massive trouble. That is a race ruiner for anybody on the hard tires, because everybody on the mediums can pit for the hards and go to the end. Well, yeah, they can go to the end, but those on the mediums are in a big pickle, because what do? They're going to have to go for the mediums, and they'll possibly have to stop again at some point as well in this race. So that means Bashi, who's led every lap so far, is going to come under increasing pressure now at some point in this race. He's most likely going to have to change to a 2-stop unless he decides to stay out, which I think is absolutely impossible. He has to pit. We'll see what he chooses to do. Is he going to choose to stay out? He might have to. Yeah, he's going to stay out. Yeah, he's got no choice. The Red Bull's going to stay out. Everybody on the mediums is going to pit. So Bashi is going to have to really show that pace on the restart. Everybody else is going to be on brand new hard tires. He's going to be on used hards, but then it means at the end he will be on brand new mediums, whilst everybody else will be on used hard tires. As Ferret has left the session, I think he's lagged out again. I'm gonna have to invite him again. Okay, yeah. Just give me 2 moments. Yeah, the difficulty would have been for Bashi. Obviously, if he did box, you only get one new set of mediums. So it's not like he could pit for mediums and then pit for mediums again. So obviously he would have maintained his lead. I guess the only other option for him would have been to pit for mediums and then pit for softs later on in the race. But he's chosen to extend his hard stint, and then he'll go for the mediums in probably around 10 laps time, where everybody else will be on 10 lap old hard tyres, and then he'll be looking to put the charge on. So we could have an exciting finish to this race. The safety car should be in on this lap. As there you go, you get the notification there. So it'll be interesting to see what type of fight Bashi can put up to those guys behind him, all on new medium, sorry, not mediums, all on new hard tyres. So let's see what the championship leader can do at this point in time, backing up the pack. And those hard tyres, as we know, very difficult to get temperature. So when's he going to choose to send it? Probably be any moment. Now, there you go. He's gone. And he's caught Pangio a little bit napping. Oh, Pangio's almost lost the rear. Is anybody going to go into the back of him? It looks like Mike wasn't close enough. The Aston Martin's on the back of the Alfa Romeo. He almost spun out. A big gap in the middle of the pack as Astros has also lost it at the penultimate corner. The hard tyre is very, very cold at this point, and that's going to give Bashi very nice breathing space. He's got a 1.2 second gap as Pangrio almost threw it in the bin from P2. Mike following him on from P3, and we've also got spinners at Nestec. Spun again. Unfortunately for the Haas driver, it's not been a very good race for him. But what this does do is throw everybody a lifeline. Vilsu's now up into P4, so he's trying to battle out for the podium. Can he do any more than that? Obviously, Bashi's going to have to pit, and those guys behind that look to be a little bit faster than Bashi. They've taken 2 attempts out of him so far. We'll see what happens as things transpire. You've got a nice battle going on in the midfield for P10. You've got Libanal and the AlphaTauri fighting out with the Haas of Ferret, who's trying to make a comeback after spinning out. Is he going to try and make a move around the outside? Surely he's not going to do that, and he does, but it looks like and the AlphaTauri kind of gives him the position, so he thought better of fighting that. Ferret on the charge at the moment. Let's see what he can do on those medium tyres. And you've got Libanal coming past T-Brand in the Alpine. Ferret absolutely very deep on the brakes there. You can see he's got a lot of pace, and he wants to get through as quickly as possible. He's going to use his ERS, and he's going to squeeze past the Alpine. They're going to go wheel to wheel. We can't watch from behind. That's a little bit too far. And Ferret's going to make the move up the inside, and he goes up into P10. The gap now out in front, 8 tenths of a second. So you can see those cars on the new hards are showing their pace at the moment. They've closed the gap to the leader. Currently now 7 tenths of a second. So we're going to keep an eye out on that, and we'll join that battle as it intensifies. Currently, we've got Jericho Balgos also trying to recover. He chose to pit for the medium tyres, whilst Bashi chose to stay out. So let's see how this impacts his race, and the 2 Red Bulls now on different strategies. What is going to happen? We've almost reached half distance. We're a few laps away from that. DRS enabled, and the gap out in front less than a second. So we're going to follow the leaders now. As you can see there, Balgos coming through turn 1, very close behind Vespa, but you've got 5 cars all within DRS of one another at the moment. Jericho's going to want to get past Vespa as quickly as possible to try and join that DRS train, otherwise he may well lose out, and he does go up the inside. He is going to take the position. Is he going to get a second dose of DRS? No, he's not, but he had a good enough exit to make sure that Vespa is not going to put him under pressure going down to turn 4. And you can see the gaggle of cars up ahead as the battle is intensifying. Bashi, I wonder how he's going to play this. He's going to have to pit again. Remember, he's not stopped. He chose not to pit under the safety car, so he's on the old hard tyres, whilst everybody behind him has stopped. So very intrigued to see how this race is going to play out. Where's my phone? Okay. Oh, you've got Bu very close behind Vilsu as well. We'll follow on board the McLaren. We'll watch from his onboard, as you've got a fairly good oversight of what's going on up ahead, as well as Jericho 1.2 seconds behind, but he's going to have to be spamming his ERS to get within the DRS zone and not lose these guys. He's going to have to be mighty through the middle sector as well. You've got Pangrio looking ever closer actually to Bashi at the moment. Is he going to look to make the move? He's going to have to do it very quickly. Bashi goes a little bit defensive. Is he going to send it up the inside? No, he thinks better of it. Somebody's going to have to really be aggressive and take initiative and get past Bashi, because the sooner they can do that, the better chance they'll have to win this race, as Bashi is going to be coming back at them on much newer medium tyres at the end of this race. So who's going to do it? It's got currently Pangrio and then Mike lining up for the overtake. You've got Vilsu and Bu following very closely behind. Jericho still can't break into the DRS. The gap is 1.3 seconds, so he may well fall out of contention for this race victory. He's going to have to make something happen very soon on those medium tyres at the moment. But currently Bashi's still in pole position. Pangrio 70% ERS. Is he going to let it rip? He's got to do it now, surely. He's going to have that DRS, but he didn't get the best of exits. Is Mike going to look to make a move? We've got yellow flags as there's been a spin as Patuca. Mike having a little look up the inside, but nobody choosing to make a move, and you can see Jericho still just hovering in the background. 1.1 seconds now as B went a little bit deep. It looks like Pangreo's going to make a move for the lead. No, he's not. Bashi defends it well. Pangreo just trying to throw him off, still not using that ERS to full effect at the moment. I really think he needs to get past so that Bashi gets swallowed up by the rest of them, as that will only play in his favor at the moment. He has got to make the move as soon as possible, otherwise it's going to be a very interesting race at the end. I think it could be very straightforward if Pangreo can get through sooner rather than later. You've got Jericho Balgos just within 1 second. Can he get that DRS? It's going to be so important if he does. It looks like he is. He has got a DRS now, so he's going to join the party. But you've got Vilsey only 2 tenths behind Mike, and you've got Pangreo still having a look up the inside of Bashi. It's surely a move's going to be made now, but you saw the Aston Martin getting a little bit out of shape coming out of turn 1. That's going to give Vilsey an opportunity going into turn 3. You can see up ahead, you've got Pangreo having a look up the inside. He's going to try and steal the DRS as well. They both might have crossed it at the same time. I have no idea who's going to get it, but you can see them swap positions. Pangreo has taken the lead, but Bashi's going to get the DRS, and he looks like he's going to try and make another move for the lead. He's going to try and take it back. He's going to go to the outside, and Pangreo's going to squeeze him a little bit. They're going to go wheel to wheel, and he goes off the track, and this could play the guys in behind, give them a big opportunity as Vilsey bumps his way past Mike as well. Jericho Balgos has fallen out of the DRS zone, so he's now 1.1 seconds behind, but it looks like all this squabbling could bring him back into play. And you can see now Pangreo 6 tenths down the away from Bashi, 7 tenths now. The gap is increasing corner by corner. Is Bashi going to lose another position? Vilsey looks like he's lining up a pass. He's been a spin in the middle sector. It's the Alpha Tauri of Vespa, unfortunately, as T-Brand gets a 3-second time penalty. There's a McLaren having a look in the background. And Bashi's got the DRS, but so has Vilsey. Is Vilsey going to use his ERS to try and get past the Red Bull? It looks like he is. The Red Bull goes defensive a little bit, but he's going to squeeze him all the way to the curb. We're going to follow this on board the Aston Martin as they're battling. They make contact. The Red Bull and the Mercedes make contact, but Vilsey's going to get another dose of DRS and a better exit as well. Is the Red Bull going to keep that slipstream? Looks like he is. Is Vilsey going to be aggressive on the brakes? They're going to make a little bit more contact, and you can see the Red Bull's derating as well. They're going wheel to wheel. This is brilliant stuff that we're watching in F2 as the McLaren is also trying to make his way past Mike. Is he going to send it up the inside? It looks like he is. No, he thinks better of it, and this is going to bring Jericho Balgos nicely into play. The gap from Jericho down to P8 is 8.7 seconds. Down to P7 rather, it's 8.7 seconds. So the fight is going on in the top 6. This is going to decide who wins the race. When is Bashi going to pit? It's lap 20 now, 16 laps to the end. He's going to try and extend this thing as long as possible and slap on those medium tires. He's probably praying for a safety car as well. So we've got really good racing going on at the moment, and it's hard to know who to follow, especially as Codemaster doesn't always give me the best camera angles. But what we do have is Vilsey looks like he's going to try and put Bashi under pressure again. He can see that red light flashing brightly in his eyes. He knows that Bashi is lacking that ERS, but he's still managing to stay ahead of the Mercedes driver. Jericho Balgos now looking like he wants to get involved in the action. He's going to send it up the inside, but he's going to go well deep. The McLaren might get the switch back. They're going to make contact, and he's round. And he's reset the track as well. Unfortunately, that will be a penalty. Sorry, mate, I was on board for you. But yeah, unfortunately for you, him and Jericho Balgos have made contact. Jericho sent it, and View went for the switchback. Unfortunately, it did not come off, so he's now 6 seconds back with wing damage in P6, unfortunately for the McLaren driver. And you've still got a battle with Vilsey. We're going to watch this intently. Pangreo's not managed to get out of the DRS or get Bashi out of his DRS, but Vilsey is right on the back of him. Can he get a good exit out of one? He hit the curb a little bit on the entry, but still should be able to get past, or at least alongside the Red Bull. He's going to go to the inside. No, he's not. The Red Bull defending very, very well at the moment, making his car very, very wide. And Vilsey struggling to get through, but Pangreo looked like he got a really bad exit out of 3, but managing to probably use a little bit of that ERS that he saved up earlier to conserve his lead out in front. Oh, he spun! Oh my god, he spun! Is he out? No, he spun out. That's commentator's curse. I'm so sorry. Pangreo had the race looking relatively comfortable, But he spun out and he's put it back in Bash's hand. There's a safety car. Was there this? Oh my God. So Pangrio spun out. He's left debris on the track. Is that a safety car or is that virtual? It's a safety car. And that's going to give Bashi most likely the race victory. Is everybody going to pit? Those who pits, they've all boxed. They're all going to come into the pits for medium tyres. It looks at least. Actually, I don't know if the other guys can go for mediums because you only got one new set. But Pangrio's spin has basically gifted Bashi the victory. Vilzu goes for the softs. Jericho goes for the mediums. Mike goes for the softs as well. So we've got a massive mixture in strategies now because some drivers can't take mediums as they've already used their one allocated brand new set of mediums. So you're going to have quite a few drivers on soft tires. Pangrio's going to have a wing change and he's put on the soft. Libba now also with the softs. So it's crazy how these things work. Because of Pangrio's spin, he has basically gifted the victory, or potentially, to Bashi. Bashi's going to be in the best position on those medium tyres. They're going to have the AlphaTauri of K-Pie between them. Surely Vilzu will dispatch of him very, very quickly. Vilzu's going to have to be really super aggressive to take that lead and try and maintain it in the final 13 laps that we're going to have. It's kind of like the sprint race all over again, but this time it really, really does count. It's the big points now. It's going to be maybe 12, actually probably not, so maybe like 11 laps or 10 lap race. All the cars are fairly close unless anybody decides to come into the box again, which I don't anticipate being the case. Okay, I'll be a moment. Oh my goodness me, safety cars in this lap and Ferret chose to pit. So he's going to be in no man's land, unfortunately. But, well, I guess this is what you want, really. Could potentially be a lot of carnage. But carnage means entertainment. So let's make it at least carnage to remember. So we've got Bashi currently in first. Been gifted the best position on the track as the man he was fighting. Pangrio spun out and he's currently down in P11. A safety car came out and now you can see he's leading them away. Vilzu's going to need to get a move on as soon as possible. He's going to have to dispatch of that AlphaTauri, but you've got big gaps opening up. It was a really good restart from the Red Bull driver. They really need to clear that AlphaTauri as soon as possible, otherwise they will lose massive time. You can see Vilzu's deploying that ERS. Is he going to send it? He's going to have so much more grip. Surely he's going to choose to send it up the inside. Yes, he does. And that should be an easy move for the Mercedes driver. Will the Aston Martin follow him through? How quickly can Vilzu get on the back of Bashi? The gap now 1.2 seconds. Bashi's going to be using up all of that ERS to try and keep him out of that 1 second detection. Oh, and he sends it as well. Oh my goodness gracious me. The Aston Martin has sent it. That was very speculative, to say the least. He's going to have track position though on the inside into the next corner and he's going to gain the place. The hard tires obviously not working particularly well at this point. We can watch Libernau also, who's chosen to go for the softs. He looks like he's going to be making positions. Pangrio's battling back, currently now up into P10 at the moment after a disaster or for him spinning out and actually bringing out a safety car, which literally couldn't have, well, I guess it kind of played in his favor a little bit as well because he spun out. But in terms of the championship leader, he's currently now got a 1.4 second gap out in front, looking ominous for the victory at the moment. And Pangrio having a little look up the inside of Patuka, but thinking better of it on those soft tyres. Vilzu not being able to make an impression. There's been contact at the back, and it's Bew, and it looks like it's Ferry as well. Ferry's retired. Oh my gosh. So I thought I had contact. Apologies. So where was I? Yeah, Pangrio battling the Aston Martin. And Bashi, wow, look at that pace. 2.2 second gap out in front. And oh no, oh, he's gone deep. And is he going to manage to keep it together? Yes, he does. But Pangrio made contact and he's going to gain 2 positions. Ferreira's left the session. He's retired also. That won't bring out any safety cars. But Pangrio looking like the man on the move at the moment. Vilzu's got no answer to Bashi's pace, even on the soft tyres. Interestingly enough, Bashi is really flying at the moment, 105.8. He's got no ERS left, and that might be why actually he's chosen to let everything go as soon as possible. And that probably was the best thing to do as well, to break that DRS and give Vilzu no chance of getting in that 1 second detection zone, unless Bashi makes a mistake at any point in the remaining 9 laps of this race. And you've got Jericho getting through Astros on the medium tires also. I believe Jericho may have gone for, no, he went for new mediums as well. So he was in a decent position and managed to pit. So he's also looking good potentially for a podium, as those soft tires don't seem to be working particularly well at this point. Oh, and he's round. Yeah, unfortunately for Astros on the hard tires, 17 laps old, running out of grip, and he spun out. He's going to drop down the order out of the points as well. This is currently the closest battle on track. You can see just there at the top in turn 1, Mike, who's had an astonishing race today, including sprint, currently running in 3rd position. He is keeping Vilzu very honest, and Jericho's going to slide past KP in the AlphaTauri. Will be defenseless, but he will get another dose of DRS, but with those hard tires probably will not be able to do anything about it. And Mike's still keeping Vilzu honest at the moment. They both got exactly the same amount of ERS as well, interestingly enough. So this will be a battle for 2nd position. We'll watch to see if Jericho can make any progress towards them within the next couple of laps, obviously on those medium tires, which will be better suited as the race goes on. But these 2 drivers have got the advantage of DRS, so Jericho will have to be putting in some really special middle sectors if he wants, or middle and final sectors, if he wants to close the gap at the moment, currently at 2.9 seconds. Vilzu getting out of shape on the apex of turn 1, giving me Nico Rosberg vibes. Is Mike gonna slide past into turn 1? Doesn't look like he's running enough downforce. He had a little look, throwing Vilzu off his line a little bit. So they're playing a bit of cat and mouse here as Mike gets out of shape on the apex of the corner at turn 3. Oops. So that was an accident. So we'll watch this battle, as it seems to be the most relevant battle at the moment. I guess Vilzu probably a little bit disappointed by the pace on those soft tires, as Bashi's pulled out 4 seconds. And that, I guess, bodes well for Jericho, because obviously as we get close to the end, the softs will degrade and the mediums will start to come into play. So we'll see what happens. The gap now to Jericho Balgos, was that rain? Sorry, I thought I saw it raining. The gap to Jericho Balgos currently 2 points 7 seconds. But Mike looking like he's not looking to make a move anytime soon. On Vils, you're just going to stay behind as Libernal gets past KP also, who's still on those hard tyres. He really has managed them fairly well, but he will probably lose quite a lot of positions. 19 lap old hard tyres that he's currently running with. Also, I don't get why they show us the rear wing, because nobody wants to see it. There's no car behind. And these guys are obviously pulling away from Jericho Balgos with the DRS, so it's going to be difficult for Jericho to really make a mark on the top 3, because they're just going to they're just DRSing each other along, which is probably the smart thing to do, which is for both those soft tire runners, as their tires will start to degrade fairly rapidly over the next 6 laps, as Bashi starts lap 31 and has got a 5-second advantage out in front on those medium tires. So he looked fairly comfortable in the sprint race. He's looked fairly comfortable until the first safety car. He was gifted the second safety car by the man he was battling for the race victory, Pangreal, who spun out and left debris on the circuit, which brought out the full safety car, as far as I'm aware. And Vilzu gets out of shape, and that's going to give Mike the position. Vilzu got out of shape coming out of turn 3, and Mike takes P2 now. I take it the battle will not be over, but I guess that shows you that the soft tires aren't particularly great at the moment. But then again, you could do that at any point really around this track. Very easy to lose the rear as you're running very low downforce generally, because firstly you don't want to be a sitting duck, and secondly you helps save quite a lot of DRS as well. But let's see if Vilzu can stay close to Mike, because it's like Mike has been a little bit quicker than Vilzu on these soft tires. So can he use the DRS to get back past the Aston Martin, who looks like he's really using that DRS quite aggressively? Yeah, you can see now down to 30%. Oh, he's spun! Oh, he's lost it! Oh man, commentator's curse is real. Jericho Balgos up into P3. Mike now dropping down to P7. It was looking so promising for the Aston Martin driver, and he's spun it at turn 1. So the soft tires are not in particularly good shape, and this could offer Jericho Balgos an opportunity, as now there is nobody with DRS up ahead. It's just going to be based on pure pace to the end at the moment. KP managing to stay within the DRS of Libernal, but those hard tires are not going to be very good for much longer, as there's a DNF Bureau tires in the pits. And a good move around the outside by Pangreal as well, also on the soft tires, using that extra grip to his advantage. The gap between Vilzu and Jericho, 2.6 seconds. There's still 4 laps remaining, so it probably will be quite close at the end, as those soft tires not looking particularly amazing at the moment. Not much going on track at the moment. Pangreal making inroads into Libernal's gap. The gap between Jericho Balgos and Vilzu now 2.2 seconds. So can Vilzu hang on to that P2? It will be a very good P2 for him, especially after the start to the sprint race that he had. So for his sake, I hope he can hold on, but it looks like Jericho is going to be closing that gap. Well, I would say ever so slowly, but currently 2.1 seconds. Bashi started lap 34, so after this lap there will be 2 laps remaining. The gap now below gap below 2 seconds, sorry. So Jericho Balgos seems like he's got quite a lot of pace in the back, but Vilzu, and you can see those soft tires look absolutely horrendous. Look at the rears as well, not looking in good shape at all for Vilzu. He's got a fairly decent amount of DRS left in comparison to Jericho Balgos, so he'll be using that to defend. Pangreal is going to be looking to at least take P4, but it looks like they could potentially all catch Vilzu. Vilzu's really struggling at the moment. with, well, 2.5 laps to go now. So can the Mercedes driver hang on to take his first podium of the season? We'll stay on board with Pangrio. He's also got the hard runner of K-Pipe behind him. He's done a really good job, I must say. Very good job from the man in P6 on those 23-lap-old hard tyres. The gap between Jericho and Vilzu is 1.2 seconds, and then Libernal only a further 1.6 seconds behind as well. So, and there you go, Jericho's broken that 1 second mark. They're going to be fighting to keep each other, well, to keep one another, well, one out and one in the DRS. And it looks like Vilzu's just kept him out at the detection point. The gap under 1 second though. Pangrio 4/10 behind Libernal, who doesn't have DRS. Is he going to look to make a move now? It looks like he isn't close enough at the moment. But these guys are all catching Vilzu very, very rapidly. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Jericho Bagos should have the DRS. No, he doesn't. I'm not sure how he doesn't have the DRS. But he doesn't. But it's going to come down to the final lap. And you've got Bashi 12 seconds out in front in a complete league of his own. He should probably be over in F1, to be honest, with that pace. But currently coming around the final corner, about to start the last lap. You can see Vilzu struggling so much. Gap 4/10. He's probably going to be defenseless. Has he got enough ERS? He's got a slight ERS advantage, but you can see he's got no grip. Hopefully he's not going to be finding himself in puncture territory. But Vilzu's got absolutely no grip. He will most likely be defenseless to the attack of Jericho, and what he's going to look at that, even under braking, so much more speed right on his gearbox. Vilzu's going to have no chance to defend. He's going to use all of his ERS. And is he going to get the DRS? Oh, they've made contact! What's going on there? They've made contact. The Ferrari's got through as well. Libernal and Pangrio battling for now. What's the podium position? They're going to fight for the podium now. It's going to come all the way down to turn 3. Pangrio's got the DRS and the 16. He's going to make his way up the inside. Libernal's going to squeeze him all the way to the apex. Is he going to make the move? And you've got the AlphaTauri behind you struggling for grip. Has he got a puncture? The AlphaTauri getting massive understeer there. Pangrio making his way through, taking the podium. But what's going on there between Vilzu and he's got damage. He's got massive damage. Vilzu and Jericho Bagos came together coming up to turn 3, and Bashi takes the victory, a dominant victory at that. And you got Pangrio and Libernal are going to take 3rd and 4th. Jericho Bagos, I'm not sure what happened there with Vilzu, but they made contact and Vilzu went round. Unfortunately for Vilzu, he's going to finish what looks like P10 at the moment. Jericho Bagos takes P2. Pangrio finishes off the podium places, finishing P3 with Libernal 4th. And K-Pipe with a brilliant drive, 26 laps on those hard tyres, P5. Mike finishing in P6. Unfortunately for him, it was looking really, really good until he had a spin. He takes P6, his teammate 7th, Astros 8th, Vespa 9th, T-Brand 10th, and Vilzu is going to finish in P10. But I guess there's going to be quite big inquests to what happened there. Because I don't actually know how that happened. I imagine very angry people. Damn.